Maybe it's got audio now. I adjusted my level of audio, and now maybe I'm shouting at everybody. Everybody that's totally here right now. Let me give 4-second delay so Taylor can hear. Let's see if I actually did talk into it or not. Oh, hey, look at that! There's, wow, okay. I guess I better give all my introductions again then. Dang, I talked for like 10 minutes. Google Hangouts are the worst, but also I'm using you, so I guess you're not the worst. But so, did you turn that off? I don't want to hear me talking to myself. It's really loud. I can hear myself through your ears. It's the worst. Okay, so before I'm coloring this blushy Michael for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna make a playlist. This is gonna be the cover image for 8-track. I guess I should put a link for that in the description in case people want to go listen to the playlists, like all 3 of them that I've made. Man. Anyway, I bought a brush set from Kyle T. Webster. His link's in the description. He's got really great brushes that do really great natural effects, and I'm a baby and like my natural brush effects, so I bought those from him. He's also got a good deal of free ones too, which is nice because free stuff. But I would encourage artists to go check them out. They're pretty great. I guess another thing I had talked about was how it's been a really god-awful long time. Been 9 months, been one baby's worth of time, one baby's worth of cooking time. But that we had played the Arabian Nights board game, which I'm pretty sure we've talked about in one of the other ones.
I think so, yeah. We played it before.
Yeah, it's pretty much why we started reading Arabian Nights, right? Because we're like, this is crazy. We should read it. It's also classic literature. What brush do I want? Yeah, okay. But we were playing it with our family because it's a fun family game, totally appropriate for everybody. It's really inappropriate. Taylor's brother and got like 6 traits and money and was the best person ever. Because that's the kind of world Arabian Nights exists in. You should beat hags to death and make fun of hunchbacks.
Diseased hags.
Diseased, dying hags. Just beat them right to death because they touch you. They touched your robes and they sullied them with their dirty, diseased hands.
I don't know. I had the most fantastic run though. I beat the game as the King of Thieves.
Yeah.
In beast form the entire time.
Yeah, so he was a monkey.
The very first thing that happened, I got turned into an ape. And the entire rest of the game, I just played it as an ape because ape status is something you can still win the game.
Yeah. But not sex change. You gotta go back to your proper birth stuff in the game. I tried to be a thief. Well, I tried to rob everybody because the previous game we played, I just drank everything. So like I drank whirlpools and storms. And that turned out actually pretty well for me. Got a lot of good shit from drinking magical waters. So I was like, yeah, I'll just be awful. I'll try to rob everybody I meet. So I pretty much went around robbing princesses until one of them, well, I tried to rob a group of princesses and then they threw me in jail. So it's probably what I deserved, but it still sucked. Still sucked a lot. But yeah, so we're gonna read. Do you want to read now?
Yes.
I want to read. Back to story time. Right, so great.
I'm going to read.
Can't wait. We have like no idea where we left off. Just saying. I don't remember what happened last time. But they're all kind of the same story just over and over again, so it should be okay. We stopped it like on a different night. So it's not like we're halfway through their chapter. Yeah. This ridiculous blushy goo.
I'm assuming that I started at the top of the tail.
I would assume that too, yeah.
Okay. I should probably figure out to make sure my audio is coming in all right.
No. We've streamed on the new computer, right? It's not just, yeah.
We streamed on the new computer.
That's the only one we've streamed on because my old one was a piece of garbage and couldn't handle streaming.
Those are strong ones.
Esther was really old. She couldn't deal with it. It's fine. She's retired out to pasture. She just plays Sims now. It's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody gets old. Gotta retire.
YouTube link. So I'm going to say something to test the volume.
Testing the volume of Taylor's voice.
All right, I got to speak a little bit louder, it seems.
Or scoot over closer to me, I guess. My water cup's there. That's a problem. Water cup.
Yep, this should work. Now I'm going to turn this off, or else it will freak out my brain.
What, you don't want to hear yourself echoing back?
Nope. The Steward's Tale, the young man from Baghdad, and Lady Zubayda's maid. O King of the Age, last night I was invited to hear a recitation of the Quran, where the doctors of the law, as well as a great many citizens of your city, were assembled. After the reciters finished their recitation, the table was spread, and among the dishes set before us there was a ragout spiced with cumin.
Cumin.
But when one of the guests saw the ragout, he held back and abstained from eating. We entreated him to eat of the ragout, but he swore that he would not, and we pressed him until he said, "Don't force me to eat, for I have suffered enough from eating this dish."
Oh no.
Then he repeated the following verses.
Oh no, I forgot about this! God, okay.
Shoulder your drum, my man, and leave your home, and use the coal if 'tis the coal you like.
You know, that's the thing the game doesn't have, is a whole lot of, like, weird poems. I think it could use more weird poems.
We can probably use more weird poems. We said to him, "Tell us the reason of your refusal to eat of the ragout." And as the host insisted, saying, "I swear that you must eat of it," the guest replied, "There is no power and no strength save in God. If I must eat, then I will first have to wash my hands 40 times with soap, 40 times with potash, and 40 times with galangal, an aromatic root of East Indian herbs of the ginger family. Potash, a crude potassium carbonate obtained from wood or other vegetable ashes." Potash. I have no idea how to say that.
I like potash.
Potash. And 40 times with galangal. Oh, right. That's okay. All in all, 120 times. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence. Then Dinozad said, "What a strange and entertaining story!" Shahrazad replied, "What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night, if the king spares me and lets me live?"
That king.
The 122nd night. The following night Shahrazad said, "It is related, O happy king, that the steward said to the king, 'O king of the age, the host ordered his servants to bring the guest water, and all that he required to wash his hands. And he washed his hands as he had said. Then he came reluctantly and sat down with us, as if in fear, and dipping his hand in the ragout began to eat, but with repugnance, while we looked at him with surprise for his hand, and indeed his whole body was shaking, and we noticed that his thumb was cut off, and that he ate with 4 fingers only, so that the food kept slipping awkwardly from his hand."
Oh, no.
Oh.
What?
With the ragout because he is missing his thumb.
Yeah, I mean, missing your thumb will make a lot of things hard.
I'm gonna leave what that is.
Ragout?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's probably a good idea, yeah. Be informative for everyone. Purple pants for Michael? I should do something. Yeah.
The basic method of preparation involves slow cooking over low heat. No, just what is it? It's a stew.
Oh, that'd be hard with no thumb.
We asked him in amazement, "What happened to your thumb? Did God create you like this, or did you have an accident?" He replied, "By God, it is not only this, but also that of the other hand, and the great toe of each of my feet, as you will see."
The great toe.
Then he bared his left hand and his 2 feet, and we saw that his left hand was like the right, and that each of his feet lacked the great toe. When we saw this, our amazement increased, and we said to him, "We are impatient to hear your story, off your thumbs and toes, and for washing your hands 120 times. He said, My father was one of the most prominent merchants of Baghdad. In the days of the Caliph Harun al-Rashid, he was fond of wine and a lute, so that when he died, he left me nothing. I held a mourning ceremony for him, arranged the recitation, and continued to mourn for him for a long time. Then I opened the shop and found that he had left little substance and many debts. So I arranged with his creditors to pay them in installments, and I began to buy and sell week by week, until at last I paid off all his debts, my capital. One day, as I was sitting in the shop early in the morning, there came to the market a beautiful young lady, the like of which I had never seen before, richly dressed and bedecked with jewelry. She was riding a she-mule, with one black slave walking before and another behind her. She dismounted and, leaving the she-mule by the entrance, entered the market. No sooner had she done so when a well-groomed eunuch followed her and said, "My lady, go in, but don't let anyone recognize you, or we will be in trouble." Then he stood guard before her, while she looked at the shops, and finding none open but mine, came up to my shop, followed by the eunuch, greeted me, and sat down. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed in silence. Then Dinarzad said, "Sister, what an entertaining story!" Shahrazad replied, "What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night, if the king spares me and lets me live?" The 123rd night. The following night Shahrazad said, "I heard, O happy king, that the steward told the king of China that the young merchant said, She sat in my shop and unveiled her face, and when I saw it, I sighed. Then she asked me, big brown moon face, so pretty, 'Do you have any fabrics?' I replied, 'My lady, your servant is poor, but wait until the other merchants open their shops, and I will get you whatever you wish.' We sat talking for a while, and I was beginning to feel an overwhelming passion for her. When the merchants opened their shops, I rose and got her everything she wished, to the value of 5,000 dirhams. She gave the fabrics to the eunuch and went back to the slaves, who brought her the she-mule, and she mounted and rode away, without telling me where she lived. Being too embarrassed to mention money before such a beautiful woman, I vouched to the merchants for the value of the goods, incurring a debt of 5,000 dirhams. Then I went home, drunk with love, and for a week was unable to eat or drink or sleep. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed in silence. Then Dinarzad said, 'Sister, what an entertaining story!' Shahrazad replied, 'What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night, if the king spares me and lets me live?' And on the following night, it is related, O king, that the steward told the king of China that the young merchant said, a week later, the merchants came to me, asking for their money, but I persuaded them to wait, and as soon as another week passed, the lady came up, riding the she-mule, and followed, as usual, by our cat, who climbed up, trying to read.
Hey, Sebastian. You want a story? Come on, he just wants laughs.
Riding the she-mule, and followed, as usual, by the eunuch and the two slaves. She greeted me, and sitting down in the shop, said, 'I am late in bringing you the money for the fabrics. Fetch a money changer and receive the amount.' I sent for the money changer, and the eunuch counted out the money and gave it to him. Then she and I sat talking until the shops opened, at which time I paid every merchant what I owed him. Then she said to me, 'Sir, give me such.' And I got her what she wanted from the merchants, and she took it and went away without saying a word about payment. I began to regret what I had done, for the price of what I had bought for her was 1,000 dinars. And I said to myself, 'What a predicament! She has given me 5,000 dirhams, but has taken 1,000 dinars worth of goods. And the merchants know only me, for no strength saving God the Almighty, the Magnificent. This woman who tricked me must be a swindler, and I did not even ask her for her address.' She was gone for more than a month, and the merchants began to press me for their money, and finally, despairing over ever seeing her again, I put up my property for sale. But one day, while I sat dejected and perplexed, she came in, and, sitting in the shop, said, 'Fetch the scales and take your money.' Then she gave me the money and sat, conversing freely with me, until I was beside myself with joy. Then she asked me, 'Do you have a wife?' I replied, 'No, I have never been married,' and began to weep.
No, bro.
She asked, "Why do you weep?" I replied, "It is nothing." Then, giving the eunuch some money, I asked him to act as my go-between with her. But he laughed and said, "My God, she is more in love with you than you are with her. She had no need for the fabric she bought from you, but she only did it out of love for you. Tell her yourself what you want." She had seen me giving the eunuch the money, so I said to her, "Be charitable and permit your servant to tend. Be charitable and permit your servant to tend you what is on his mind." Okay.
Oh.
Tend the bird, not.
I see.
Then I told her what was on my mind, and she assented and said to the eunuch, "You shall carry my message to him, saying to me, do whatever he asks you." Went away. I paid the merchants what I owed them and spent a sleepless night. A few days later, the eunuch came to me, but morning overtook Shahrazad.
And her sister's like, read me again tomorrow. Or whatever. That's...
The 125th night. It is related, O king, that the steward told the king of China that the young man, the eunuch, came. I treated him generously, and when I asked him about his mistress, he replied, "She is pining with love for you." Then I asked him, "Who is she?" And he said, "She is one of the waiting women, who is charged with errands for the lady, the wife of the caliph, who brought her up.
Caliph.
My God, she told her lady about you, and begged her to marry her to you. But the lady Zubaydah said, I will not marry you to him until I see whether he is handsome and whether he is a match for you. I will take you to the palace at once, and if you succeed in entering without being seen, you may win her in marriage. But if you are found out, you will lose your head."
Oh no.
What do you say? I replied, "I do."
Do you have beguiling and swordplay? No, and your head's off.
Or the golden
Or
trumpet?
the golden, yeah.
Golden bridle?
The golden
brass
bridle,
trumpet.
brass trumpet, yeah.
Neither of which we have encountered.
I thought we got the trumpet once, but then never encountered an encounter where it needed it.
Oh, maybe.
I feel like that's a thing.
Oh no, I meant in
No, yeah. Oh, in the book?
Yeah.
The golden bridle I thought they used to catch the beasts. I don't know. I might just be getting confused with like Legend of the Golden Bridle. I don't know. I don't know what stories I've heard anymore. They're all the same. All stories, one story.
powerful.
Yeah. Eat them rice cakes. Tasty.
Then he said, "As soon as it is night, go to the mosque built by the lady Zubaydah on the Tigris River." I replied, "Very well." Then I went to the mosque, where I performed my evening prayer and passed the night. Just before daybreak, there came up some servants in a boat, with some empty chests, which they deposited in the mosque and departed. But one of them stayed behind, and when I looked at him closely, I found that he was the eunuch who had come to me earlier. Soon my lady herself came in, and when she drew near, I rose to greet her, and she sat to converse with me, with tears in her eyes. Then she made me get into one of the chests and locked me in. Then the eunuchs came back with all sorts of things that she kept stowing in the chests until she had filled them all and locked them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
In multiple chests, not just in his chest. Like, oh, yeah, you can hang out with all my shit. But you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to breathe. That was convincing.
Oh my God, crumbling.
It's okay. It's fine.
Then they placed the chest in the boat and headed downstream to the palace of the Lady Zubaydah. I soon began to regret what I had done, saying to myself, by God, I am undone, and kept weeping and praying to God to deliver me until the boat reached the gate of the king's palace. Then the eunuchs lifted out the chests, including mine, and carried them past the eunuchs in charge of guarding the harem, until they came to a eunuch who seemed to be their chief.
The chief of all
He started up from sleep. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence. Then her sister Dinarzad said, Sister, what an entertaining story! Shahrazad replied, What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night if the king spares me and lets me live? I'm getting crumbs all over.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm giving Michael some purple pants.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what I think about this color. I don't know.
Oh, weird. Is there that much delay on it that you're like painting over here while the color is filling in over here?
Not on my screen. I'm sorry, people watching. Maybe you should turn off. We didn't test the thing. Let me stop presenting. Put my thing facing away so you don't see my face. Just in case. Stop. Oh no, my face! Oh, it's the worst. I hid. It's okay. Yeah.
Now we'll just see our
Weird corner of the
giant
room.
back and
Okay, is that any better or no? Okay, there's
there's your face.
It's not my face, it's my shoulder.
How close to your face?
Oh shh. Not today. Not like my face isn't on the internet already, but I actually think I look pretty cute today's too, so it wouldn't be like the end of the world if they
Yeah.
Man, that's weird that it's still fuzzy. I don't know. Sorry about that. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's not fuzzy for anybody else. Maybe it's just your shitty computer. I'm just going to hope that's the case, and I'll check on mine later. I guess if it's really bad, I'll just delete it. No, I'd feel bad deleting story times.
Yeah.
That's super weird. Like, I totally... Like, that's not syncing up at all with my brushes.
I wonder what's going on if it's like if the brush, like the cursor as it appears on the screen, is more up to date with
What I'm doing?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know. Like, there's no lag on my end, so that's not what's happening on my screen. I'm very sorry that that's what's happening on other people's screens. I've got no way to fix it. At least none that I know of. Maybe darker purple paints? I don't know.
The 126th night. The following night, Shahrazad said, I heard, O happy king, that the steward told the king of China. But the young man said, The chief of the eunuchs started up from sleep and cried out to the young lady, Don't delay, you must open these chests. Probably not appropriate that I give the eunuchs deep voices.
Is that,
I don't know.
is that racist?
It's not racist.
It's not racist. They got their testicles chopped off, I know.
Yeah.
But I don't
It's
know.
not a race of people.
I don't know if that really... I mean, I guess they supposedly did that so they could sing better. I don't know.
Well, I think it depends on what age.
Right, yeah, so if they
If
did...
you do it young enough, then your body doesn't produce as much testosterone
Yeah.
as it should, or as it would have otherwise.
Yeah.
It so happened that the chest he was about to start with was the one in which I was. And when they brought it to him, I lost my senses and in a panic wet myself until my urine began to run out of the chest.
Whoa, gross! It's too
Then
much
the
urine.
young lady said, Chief, you have ruined me and ruined many merchants by spoiling the belongings of the Lady Zubaydah. For this chest contained colored dresses and a jar of Zamzam water from a sacred well in Mecca, is the footnote.
Oh, okay.
The jar has just tipped over and the water will make the colors run. The chief of the eunuch said, She's got his back.
That's a good lie.
The chief of the eunuch said, Take the chest and go. But hardly had the eunuch carried me and hurried away with all the other chests when I heard a voice crying, oh my, it's the caliph, the caliph. When I heard this, my heart died within me. Then I heard the caliph ask the young lady, Hey you, what is in these chests of yours? She replied, Clothes for the Lady Zubaydah. He said, Open them and let me see. And when I heard this, I knew that I was undone. Then I heard the young lady say, O commander of the faithful, these chests contain the clothes and belongings of the Lady Zubaydah, and she does not wish their contents to be seen by anyone. But the caliph said, You must open these chests, so that I may see what is in them. Bring them to me. That's not how the caliph talks.
Why not? Oh, that is now how...
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said that's not how the caliph talks. I'm like, oh, that's a good voice.
That's now how the caliph talks.
Okay. Acceptable.
When I heard the caliph say, Bring them to me, I was sure of death. Then the eunuchs brought the chests open, opening them one after another. And he kept looking at the clothes and belongings until there remained only the chest in which I was hiding. They carried me and let me down before him, and I bade him goodbye. I bade life goodbye, being certain that I was going to lose my head and die. The caliph said, "Open the chest, so that I may see what is in it." The eunuch rushed to open the chest. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence. Then Dinarzad said to her sister Shahrazad, "What a strange and entertaining story." Shahrazad replied, "What is this, compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night, if the king spares me not to live?" 127th night. The following night Shahrazad said, "I heard, O king, that the steward told the king of China, as the young man said." The caliph said to the eunuchs, "Open this chest so that I may see what is in it." No.
No, sorry. My phone was vibrating. I said, "Oh."
Okay.
It did sound like no, but my phone had one going off.
But the young lady said, "O my lord, open it in the presence of the Lady Zubaydah, for that which is in it is her secret, and she is more particular about this one, all the other chests." When the caliph heard her explanation, he ordered the eunuchs to carry the chest inside, and 2 of them came and carried the chest in which I was hiding, while I could hardly believe that I was still alive. As soon as the chest was inside the harem where my friend lived, she rushed in and, opening it, said,
Wait, so she lives in... She's a lady in waiting. She's not a harem lady.
"No, it's just I was laughing at my friend."
Oh, my friend. His lovely friend.
Yeah.
Euphemisms.
"Get out quickly and take the stairway upstairs." I stood up and climbed out of the chest, and hardly had she closed the lid, and I climbed the stairs when the eunuchs came in with the other chest, followed by the king. Then they opened everything again before him, while he sat on the chest where I had been hiding. Then he got up and went into the harem. All this time I sat with my mouth dry from fear until the young lady came upstairs and said to me, "There is no longer anything to fear. Be cheerful and wait until the Lady Zubaydah comes to see you.
Be cheerful.
And you may be fortunate and win me."
Mm.
I went downstairs, and as soon as I sat in the small hall, there came in 10 maids, like moons, and stood in 2 rows. And they were followed by 20 high-bosomed virgins.
Oh, jeez.
And the Lady Zubaydah, who could hardly walk under the weight of her dresses and ornaments.
Oh, no.
When she drew near, the maids dispersed and brought her a chair on which she sat. And then she cried out to the girls, who in turn cried out to me, and I advanced and kissed the ground before her. She motioned me to sit down, and I sat down before her, as she conversed with me, and I answered her questions about my condition.
What's his condition?
I don't know. Did he peed himself?
Oh. Just his way in life, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay.
Though that, I think, is a detail that seems to have been forgotten.
Right.
She was pleased with me and finally said, "By God, I have not raised this girl in vain. She is like my own child, a trust committed to you by God." Then she bade me to stay for 10 days in the palace. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence. Then Dinarzad said, "What a strange and entertaining story." Shahrazad replied, "What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night, if the king spares me and lets me live?" The 128th night. The following night Shahrazad said, "I heard that the steward told the king of China that the young man said, I stayed in the palace 10 days and nights, without seeing the young lady. Then the Lady Zubaydah consulted the caliph about the marriage of her waiting woman, and he gave permission and assigned 10,000 dirhams for that purpose. Then the Lady Zubaydah sent for the judge and witnesses, and they drew up the marriage contract, performed the ceremony, and for 10 days thereafter celebrated our wedding with sumptuous meals and sweets. At the end of the 10 days, the young lady entered the bath. In the meantime, they set before me the supper tray, and as there was among the dishes a great platter of ragout, cooked with pistachio nuts, white sugar, rose water, and cumin. I did not hesitate, but by God fell upon the ragout and ate until I was satisfied.
Oh, this is why he hates white ragout.
Yeah.
I forgot this was the point of the story.
Yeah, you're like, this is cute. He meets somebody, they fall in love, he gets his thumbs cut off.
Isn't that how love works? I know, I don't have any thumbs. Am I dry? No, okay. Keep going.
Then I wiped my hands, for God had willed that I should forget to wash them.
Oh, no.
You just stuck your dirty hands in the soup.
Now no one else can eat it.
I sat until it grew dark, when they lit the candles and all the musicians and singing women of the palace came in procession, beating the tambourines and singing all kinds of melodies and songs. They kept parading from room to room, displaying the bride and receiving gifts of money and pieces of silk, until they made the round of the whole palace and brought her to my room. They disrobed her and left her with me, but no sooner did I enter the bed with her and embrace her, hardly believing that she was mine, than, smelling the rag out spiced with cumin on my hand, she let out such a loud scream that the maids rushed in from all sides and stood around her, while I sat alarmed and trembled from fear, not knowing why she had screamed. The maids asked her, "Sister, what is the matter with you?" She replied, "Take this madman away from me!"
What?
I got up, afraid and bewildered, and asked her, "My lady, what makes you think me mad?" She replied, "Madman, didn't you eat the ragout spiced with cumin without washing your hands? By God, I will punish you for it. Shall the like of you consummate marriage with one like me, with a hand smelling of ragout spiced with cumin?" Then she yelled at the girl, saying, "Throw him to the ground!" And they threw me to the ground.
Okay.
And she took
God
a
damn it,
braided whip.
I keep drawing on the wrong layer. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, wait, no, maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah, I did. At least one of these circles. Hmm.
How's it going? How many layers? How many? Was it?
Just one.
Okay.
It's just one circle on his shirt. Which I don't know. My mom is calling me to talk to her later.
You don't want to live stream a conversation with your mom?
Probably not. I'm probably not. It sounds like not a thing I want to do.
Okay.
Circles. These circles. I don't know which ones I like. Wait, that one? No.
Okay. Madman threw him to the ground.
Yeah, throw them around.
And she took a braided whip and fell with it on my back and buttocks.
Dang!
Until her arm was tired. Then she said to the girls, "Take him and send him to the chief of the police,
What?
so that he may cut off the hand with which he ate the ragout without washing it and sparing me the stench." When I heard this
is really extreme.
Still smarting from the blows, I said to myself, "There is no power and no strength save in God, the Almighty, Magnificent." What a calamity. What a great calamity. Did I suffer such a painful beating? And will my hand be cut off just because I ate the ragout, spiced with cumin, I forgot to wash my hands? May God curse this ragout in its very existence. But morning overtook Sherazad and she lapsed into silence.
Oh, man.
Then Dinardet said, "Sister, what a strange and entertaining story.
Very strange
Sister,
story.
what a strange and unreasonable lady." Sherazad said, "If you think she's crazy, just wait until..." No.
Just wait until you meet my husband. Oh, wait, you have! Okay.
Okay.
That's enough.
129th night. The following night, Shahrazad said, "It is related that the steward told the king of China that the young man said, 'The girls interceded with her, saying, Our lady, this man does not know your worth. Forgive him for our sake.' But she said, 'He is a madman, and I will punish his hand so that he may never again eat the ragout without washing it.' Then the girls interceded again and kissed her hand, saying, 'Our lady, for God's sake, don't blame him for what he forgot to do.' She yelled at me, cursed me, and went away, and they followed her. She was gone for 10 days,
Man.
during which a maid brought me food and drink every day and informed me that the lady was not feeling well because I had eaten the ragout without washing my hands."
Still? Oh my gosh. Wait, so did they not take him to... I guess they didn't take him to prison.
No,
They're like, lady, crazy.
I'm
Maybe she's cursed. I don't know.
I'm entertaining the possibility that this is one of the stories where, like, he gets his hand cut off by something completely random.
Oh, yeah, like...
all of this. I feel like there was a story that was like that.
It's possible, yeah. Would not be surprised.
Or, like, you're reading this whole thing and you're like, he's going to get his thumbs cut off. When is he going to get his thumbs cut off? Like, and then
I went to a magical island where they cut my thumbs off.
No, not the magical island of thumb cutting.
The Dendan ate it.
Not the Dan. Okay. For God's sake, lady, don't blame him. Gone for 10 days.
Oh,
Do you do laser?
yeah.
You gotta make when.
Okay.
It's
Well,
whenever you control Z.
I know. Every time I control Z, I forget that I go back to the layer and then I do it. I know. You'd think I'd remember, but I don't.
It's a dumb thing that Photoshop does.
It's a dumb thing that Photoshop does.
You should undo the action, not the changing of layers.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I don't know. I was going to try to defend Photoshop, but I don't think I've ever actually run into a situation where that's been useful.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Not useful enough anyway, too.
I was very much amazed and burst out with anger, saying to myself, "What a cursed temper!"
What a cursed temper.
Adding, "There is no power, no strength, saving God, the Almighty, the Magnificent." When the 10 days passed, the maid brought me the food and informed me that the lady was going to the bath, adding, "Bear her anger patiently, for tomorrow she will come to you." When the lady finally came in, she looked at me and said, "May God shame you. Couldn't you be patient, even for one moment? I will not make peace with you until I punish you for eating the bite out without washing your hands." Then crying out to the girls who surrounded me and bound me, she took out a sharp blade, and coming up to me, cut off my 2 thumbs, as you people can see for yourselves, and I fell into a swoon. Meanwhile, she sprinkled the wounds with powder and a store of drugs to stop the flow of blood, and when the blood stopped, the maids gave me wine to drink. As soon as I opened my eyes, I said to her, "I pledge to you that I will never again eat ragout, spiced with cumin, without washing my hands 120 times." The lady replied, "Bravo," and made me take an oath to that effect.
And then
So when the food was brought in here, I saw the ragout spiced with cumin. I turned pale and said to myself, "It was this dish that was the cause of cutting off my thumbs. So when you forced me to eat of it, I had to fulfill the oath."
Dang. So wait, he's still married?
Oh, maybe.
Something.
Something.
All right.
I mean, that's something you can work through as a couple. Cutting off somebody's thumb for not washing their hands.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you'd be pretty upset if I got pretty grabby with soup hands.
I probably wouldn't cut off your thumbs though. Like 90% sure I would not cut off your thumbs.
And she lapsed into silence. The Dinozad said to her sister Sherazad, "What a strange and entertaining story." Sherazad replied, "What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night if the king swears me not to be lived?" The 130th night. The following night Sherazad said, "It is related that the steward told the king of China that the guests asked the young man, 'What happened to you after that?' And he said, 'When my wounds healed and I recovered, she came to me, and I slept with her. Then I spent the rest of the month with her in the palace until I began to feel depressed. And she finally said to me, "Listen, Keyless Palace is no place for us to live. The Lady Zubaida has given me 50,000 dinars. Take some money with you and go and buy us a good house." Then she gave me 10,000 dinars, and I took them and went out and bought a beautiful house. Then she moved in with me, and for many years we lived like kings until she died.
Oh.
This then is the cause of the cutting off of my thumbs and the washing of my hands." What happened to his toes?
He doesn't have toes? I missed that part.
He has great toes.
Oh yeah, he don't have great toes. Oh, maybe that's the next story.
Are they including his toes and his thumbs?
I don't think so. There's probably another story. Probably gonna be like, "Where did your toes go, sir?" And he's like, "Well, that's another fantastic story for another night."
Story.
Are you sure?
After
Okay.
we ate. Wait, no. She died.
Yeah, she died.
The cause of cutting off my and washing my hands. After we ate, the party ended and we departed. And afterward, I had my adventure with the hunchback.
This isn't the poo
Maybe,
hunchback. I don't
The king of China said, "By God, this is not more amazing than the story of the roguish hunchback." Then the Jewish physician rose and, kissing the ground before the king, said, "Oh, my lord, I have a story to tell which is more amazing than this one." The king said, "Let us hear it."
Let us hear it.
Oh, this is one of those deals where they're trying to outstory each other.
Yeah, so that's what they're always doing. Everybody's trying to outstory each other. It's like a dance-off of stories. Except everybody wins in the end, usually. Everybody gets a third of a soul, and they save the man from a demon.
Yep.
That's
Alright, morning overtook Sherazad. We will continue with the Jewish physician's tale, the young man from Mosul and the murdered girl. After I quench my thirst.
What? Thirst quenching. Why are you eating a rice cake? That's not thirst quenching. I think you got confused by what thirst means.
No, I had to finish my rice cake.
Oh.
Because I didn't want to drink water and then eat rice cake.
Hmm.
Because that would be less quenching. Because I want the last thing to have done. Water.
Okay. If you say so.
If you say so.
Well, while Taylor's drinking water, hopefully the video is not just the worst. I'm very sorry if it is. But I guess I could talk a little bit about how these brushes work. They're pretty neat and also kind of weird. If you've been paying attention, you might have noticed that I have to do all the colors in one go. That's because the brushes have a multiply on them. So if you don't do them all in one go, they make lines, so you don't have an even color. And I usually, when I'm painting in real life, try to do everything in a wash anyway, because I like solid colors, unless I'm specifically going for not solid colors. I don't know. I think it looks a lot better with a brush than with a digital brush. I'm still a...
You know what you could do?
Such a
I
snob.
wonder if it would work if you took the multiply setting off the brush and just left the brush on its own layer and then just
multiply the layer?
Multiply the layer.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know about any of that.
Worth some trials.
Worth some trials, maybe.
I'm sorry about it. You should drop all the crumbs on you.
Poor crummy Sebastian. Just covering crumbs. The brushes also have a really good pressure sensitivity built into them, so you can do really, really light things or really heavy things. I like these brushes, even if they took me a little bit of while to get used to, like most things, which takes me a while to get used to, and until then I hate it. New things, they're the worst. But also, they're good for you. You should try new things. I should try new things. You shaking your hands? You ready to... What are you doing rubbing your face?
I had Sebastian hair all over me.
Oh, well, maybe if you kick him off your lap.
That's
what happens when you pet him. That's what happens when you pet cats. They get their hair all over you.
It is related, O king, that the Jew said, the Jewish physician's tale. The young man from Mosul and the murdered girl. Murdered girl.
Murdered.
Completely unrelated. Apparently they're making a live-action Gargoyles movie.
Are you lying to me?
I'm not lying to you.
Like, for reals? That's what the internet wants, right? They want a new cartoon.
They just want some. They just
want gargoyles.
Yeah.
Does that person on Tumblr say anything about it? He's like, yeah, gargoyles.
I don't follow them.
Oh, okay.
I follow somebody who reblogged most of the stuff.
Oh.
I need to reposition myself.
Okay.
And sleepy feet.
Sleepy feet. Sleepy feet. Oh, that's my eraser. I don't want that.
Okie dokie. O king of the age, the most amazing thing that ever happened to me occurred when I was studying medicine in Damascus. One day, a Mamluk from the house of the governor came to take me there. I went to the house, and when I entered, I saw lying on a bed at the upper end of the hall a sick young man, so handsome that I have seen none handsomer.
Tastes like a moon.
I sat at his head and offered a prayer for his recovery, and he responded by making a sign with his eyes. I said to him, O Lord, Give me your hand, and may you recover speedily. My lord, give me your hand. Oh. Wow, I really messed that up.
It's okay, whatever. No problem.
He put forth his left hand, and I wondered and said to myself, by God, it is strange that such a handsome young man of such a high family should lack good manners. How very strange.
How very strange.
I felt his pulse and wrote him a prescription, and for 10 days I continued to visit him until he recovered, and I took him to the bath. Then when I came out, the governor bestowed on me a robe of honor and appointed me superintendent of the hospital.
Wow.
But when I was with him in the bath, which was cleared for our private use,
Steamy.
and the servants and valets came in and took off his clothes, I saw that his right hand had been recently cut off, and realized that this was the cause of his illness. When I saw this, I was filled with amazement, worry, and sorrow for him. I looked closely at his body and saw marks of beatings with rods, for which he had used ointments, drugs, and plasters, leaving only faint traces on the sides. As my worry increased and began to show on my face, the young man looked at me and said, reading my thought, Doctor, don't worry about my case. I will tell you my strange story at the appropriate time. That's how handsome it is.
That's how handsome men speak.
Then we washed, and returning to the house, ate some boiled food and rested a while.
Yeah, boiled food.
When the young man said to me, would you like to go for a walk in the Damascus Gardens? I replied, yes, I would. He bade the servants take a few necessities in addition to a roasted lamb and fruits. We went to the gardens, where we enjoyed the sights for a while, then sat to eat. When we finished, they offered us some sweets, and after we had some, I was about to open the subject, when he anticipated me and said,
Now is not the time.
Doctor, I am a native of Mosul.
How is it spelled?
M-O-S-U-L.
I would assume that's...
When my grandfather died, he left behind 10 sons, of whom my father was the eldest. When they grew up, all 10 got married, and God blessed my father with me, but did not bless his 9 brothers, any children.
Wow.
So I grew up among my uncles. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence.
But my uncles were assholes.
Probably not.
Probably. Or cursed.
Could be
By
cursed.
demons.
Is that one of the effects of curse? You can't bear children.
I don't know. Have I been cursed before? Is cursed the one you have to go on pilgrimage to? No, that's scorned.
Yeah, there's a handful that you can solve by going on pilgrimage.
Don't play Moe! Stop that! Playing your waifus. I'm not playing my waifus while doing this. I'm focused and committed to the task at hand.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's dedication.
It is full dedication. Very bad at coloring inside lines. And lines. You'd sing a Totoro? Do I need to put on some music while you eat your rice cake and play your moes?
I mean, scone.
Are you eating all my scones?
That was my second scone. You still have 2 scones left.
Okay. I bought 6 scones, and I think I've had 3. Wait, no.
No,
Because there were like 4 when you got home, right?
I've eaten 2 so
2
far.
Scones. There's 2 left,
And
so
there's 2 left.
I guess I've only eaten 2 scones. Yeah, I got them, and then I was like, I'm really not that hungry, but I have scones now. Yeah. Tasty little vanilla scones. So, oh, that's bad. You better chew them and swallow them.
But you don't know.
I should talk. It's very hard for me to talk in color, so
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
it's kind of hard anyway. I don't have a topic really.
What is in store for us for coming up?
Comic?
Yeah, you got some exciting plot lines that.
They go to space, and
Yeah, I was really excited about the space chapter.
yeah, space chapter. We're just gonna
Like a lot of people don't think that you can easily fit full scale alien invasions casually, and so
it's okay. It's all a simulation in the end.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna
A dream of a simulation.
a dream of a simulation.
All inside a simulation.
Do I? Oh, I don't think I. No, there's no space plots. That's not a thing I would do. Not for this comic, anyway.
You have other kinds of space plots, but
Yeah, but not for this comic's not sci-fi in that way. It's like marginally sci-fi in that there's weird technology, but not like we're not in space. We're not going to space. I don't think anyway. No space, but maybe dream space, which isn't the same as outer space.
there's cosmic space.
Cosmic
I know
space.
132nd night. The following night, Shahrazad said, I heard, O king, that the Jewish physician told the king of China that the young man said, I had grown up and reached manhood when one Friday I went with my father and my uncles to the Mosul Mosque. After we performed the Friday prayers and the people went out, my father and my uncle sat in a circle talking about the wonders of foreign lands and the marvels of various cities until they mentioned Cairo. And one of my uncles said, Travelers say that there is nothing on the face of the earth fairer than Cairo. And from that moment I longed to see Cairo. Nothing disagreed, saying, It is Baghdad that is paradise and the capital of the world. But my father, who is the eldest, said, He who has not seen Cairo has not seen the world. Its dust is gold, its women dolls, and its Nile a wonder, whose water is sweet and refreshing, and whose clay is soft and cool. As the poet said, Enjoy today the flooding of your Nile, whose waters on you their riches bestow. The Nile is but the tears I shed for you, a boon which from my blighted eyes does flow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
If you saw its gardens adorned with flowers and ornamented with all kinds of blossoms, if you saw the Nile Island with its many lovely sights, and if you saw the Ethiopian pond, your eyes would be dazzled with their wonders. Oh, how lovely is the sight of the green gardens, encircled by the waters of the Nile, like chrysolites set in silver sheets. How well the poet put it who said, Oh, what a day by the Ethiopian pond we spent between the shadows and the light. The water flashing amid the green plants, a saber in an eye trembling with fright. We sat in a fine garden where the rays embroidered and adorned that lovely sight, a garden woven for us by the clouds, soft carpets made and spread for us to rest as we sat passing the refreshing wine. Which of all drugs for sorrow works the best, quaffing deep draughts from large and brimful cups, for they alone can quench our burning thirst.
Okay.
But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she went into silence. And then Shahrazad said, What a strange and entertaining story. Shahrazad replied, What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night if the king spares me to live? 133rd night, apparently spared her. I wasn't sure. I thought that night might have been. The following night, Shahrazad said,
Shut up.
I heard, O king, that the Jewish physician told the king of China that the young man said, My father went on to describe Cairo, and when he finished describing the Nile and the Ethiopian pond, he said, And what is this compared with the observatory and its charms, of which every approaching viewer says, This spot is full of wonders. And if you speak
of the night of the Nile flooding feast. Open the floodgates of words and release the bow.
Release the bow.
And if you see El Ruda Park in the shade of the late afternoon, you will be thrilled with wonder and delight. And if you stand at the riverbank when the sun is sinking and the Nile puts on its coat of mail and shield, you will be refreshed by the deep and ample shade and gentle breeze. When I heard this description, my thoughts dwelt so much on Cairo that I was unable to sleep that night. Man, even I don't live in Cairo now.
I mean,
Probably not exactly the same as it was.
probably
Right.
not. I imagine a lot's changed in like what
1,000 years?
500. Yeah, I don't know when this was written, but I don't know when this is supposed to take place. But.
All the stories were collected over approximately 1,000 years.
So,
The earliest ones being around the year 700.
right.
To the,
Oh man, that's so long ago. So
Yeah.
many people, all dead.
That's a good measurement of time. The number of people dead. Sometime later, my...
I'm getting a scone.
Yep.
Okay. Well.
Sometime later, my uncles prepared merchandise for a trade journey to Cairo, and I went to my father and importuned him with tears until he prepared merchandise for me to, saying to them, "Don't let him go to Cairo, but leave him behind to sell his goods at Damascus." What a jerk!
What a jerk. Maybe he'll get some nice rugs though.
Having provided ourselves for the journey, we set out from Mosul and journeyed until we reached Aleppo, where we stayed for a few days. Then we pressed on until we reached Damascus, which I found to be a pleasant, peaceful, and prosperous city, abounding in trees and rivers and birds, like a garden in paradise, and abounding in fruits of all kinds.
What?
That's in quotes.
Why is that in quotes?
Because I'm assuming he's saying it with a suggestive wink.
Oh, so like lady fruits. Mm.
Or probably just like a lot of different... Yeah,
A lot of different ladies.
like one of the gardens in Radwan. Literally, the gardens of the blessed. Paradise.
Mm.
He's saying if he eats some of that fruit, God's going to kick him out.
Oh.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
Maybe not. I don't know. We stayed in one of the caravanseries. To my delight, while my uncle sold my goods at a profit of 5 dinars for each dinar. Then they left me and went on to Egypt, while I stayed in Damascus, in a large house, known as the House of Sudan Abad al-Rahman, which I rented for 2 dinars a month. If I had a marble hall, it had a marble hall, a storeroom, an extra room with cupboards, and a fountain with water running day and night.
Wow.
It had cupboards!
The height of luxury.
I lived there.
Cupboards, really? Is that okay?
An extra room with cupboards.
Oh man, a whole room of
I lived there, spending my money on feasting and drinking until I had squandered most of it.
Oh, what a dick. You don't know the value of the dollar.
One day, as I sat at the door of my lodging, there came up a young lady so finely dressed that I had seen none better. I invited her to come in, and could hardly believe it when she actually accepted.
Wow.
That morning of a picture, I was odd and relaxed in the silence. Sister, what a strange and intriguing story, Shahrazad replied. What is this compared to what I shall tell you tomorrow night? If the king spares me to live. 34th night. The following night, Shahrazad said, I heard, O happy king, that the Jewish physician told the king of China that the young man said.
Oh my gosh.
When she entered, I felt bound to honor the invitation, and I went in and closed the door behind us. When she sat and raised her veil and took off her cloak, I saw that she was extremely beautiful, like a painted moon. My heart.
Aww.
I went out.
Something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, probably.
Oh wait, yeah, beat to death. Yeah, well, not to death. Just
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, real beat. Yeah, it's always those things. You're like, oh, it's cute. They're in love. Oh wait, bodily harm.
Someone's gonna beat him.
I went out and bought from a special shop a tray of the most delicate foods and fruits, as well as wine and whatever was needed for the occasion. We ate, and when it got dark, I lighted the candles and set up the cups, and we drank until we were drunk. Then I slept with her and spent the best of nights.
Oh no!
In the morning, I offered her 10 dinars.
Whoa!
I said, shame on you, man from Mosul, to think that you can have me for gold or money.
Wow. What, did he think she was a prostitute, or she, what? Okay. I assumed she wasn't, but...
Then taking out 10 dinars herself, she swore that if I did not take them, she would never come back, saying, "Darling, expect me again in 3 days, between sundown and nightfall, and take these 10 dinars to prepare a banquet similar to this."
Okay.
Then she bade me goodbye and went away, taking my heart with her. Well, I could hardly wait for the 3 days to go by.
Okay. Alright. Alright.
On the appointed day, I prepared a banquet to my liking, and she came after sundown, wearing high wooden shoes, a black headcloth, and a bonnet, and exhaling sweet perfumes.
Mm-hmm.
We ate and drank and dallied and laughed. And when it got dark, I lighted the candles, and we drank until we got drunk. Then I slept with her.
Gotta say it that way, okay.
I'm just reading it.
And then I slept with her. Okay.
When she arose in the morning, she gave me 10 dinars and saying, "We will meet as usual," and went away. 3 days later, I again prepared a banquet. And when she came as usual, we sat and ate and dallied and conversed. When it got dark and we sat to drink, she said, "My lord, by God, am I not beautiful?" I replied, "Yes, by God, you are."
My God.
She said, "Will you then allow me to bring with me a young lady who is even more beautiful and younger than I, so that she may play, laugh, and enjoy herself? For she has been sequestered for a long time, and she has asked to go out and spend the night with me."
Oh dear.
I replied, "By God, yes."
My God, yes.
In the morning, she gave me 15 dinars, and saying, "Buy more provisions, for we will have a new guest who will meet as usual," went away. On the third day, I prepared a banquet.
My computer's upset with me. I used too big of a brush. It's like, no, I can't load it. Whoa.
I too want the snack, but it doesn't look that good.
Yeah, you can't put things in your mouth. Otherwise, I better use my brush. Okay.
Whoa! 135th night. I heard that the Jewish physician told the king of China that the young man said, "Soon after sundown she came with a girl, as we had agreed on." I received them with pleasure and delight and lighted the candles. And when the girl unveiled herself, she revealed a face that redounded to the glory of God, the best of creators. Then we sat down to eat, and they kept feeding the new girl, while she looked at me and smiled. And when we finished eating and I set the wine and the fruits and sweets before them, I drank with her, and she smiled and winked at me as I gazed on her, all consumed with love.
No!
My friend, seeing that the girl's eyes were fixed on mine and mine on hers, laughed and asked playfully, "Darling, isn't this girl, who not you, more beautiful and charming than I?"
Wow.
I replied,
You're getting set up.
"By God, yes, she is."
You're getting set up so hard. Okay, keep going.
"Would you like to sleep with her?" I replied, "Yes, by God,
oh,
I'd
you're
like
gonna get beat to death.
She said, "After all, she is only a visitor here tonight, while I am always here." Then girding herself, she rose in the middle of the night and prepared our bed. And I took the girl in my arms and slept with her that night, while my friend prepared a bed for herself in the extra room, the one with the cupboards.
Sleep in the cupboards?
Wait, no, that's a different person.
Is that a different person? You sure?
Yeah, the guy.
The cupboards was. I thought that was. This was the.
The dude that got his thumbs cut off.
What? No.
Yeah, because he went off to buy the house. because he got married, because that was the guy that got married to the maid.
This is it. Oh, okay.
This is the
Yeah, but I thought it was the house was for travelers, and his uncles left him there. And he's like, "This was such a great house they left me, and it's got cupboards and horses and the cavalry."
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
okay, I'm not crazy. Good, just you.
in a large house. Yeah, there was actually with cupboards.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Okay.
When I woke in the morning, I found myself drenched and thought that I was wet with perspiration.
Huh.
She was into people.
No.
I sat up and tried
No.
but when I shook her by the shoulders,
She was dead.
her head rolled off,
Whoa.
and I realized that she had been slain.
Oh, you're covered in blood.
Gross.
Probably by.
That's so much worse.
Yeah, that's way worse. Way worse than being peed on. I painted the background, but because these are watercolors, they're all multiplied on each other. They're all like not 100% opacity.
Yep.
So I have to go underneath. I saved a file, then flattened all of Michael colors. Now I'm erasing the background for them. This is how I do sometimes. This time of year.
I lost my senses. Oh, gracious protector! Sprang up again to turn black before my eyes. Then I looked for my friend, and when I could not find her, I realized that it was she who, out of jealousy, had murdered the girl.
Why would you do this?
I said to myself, there is no power.
Why
no
would you?
strength.
Why would you start sleeping
Saving
with a
God.
guy and then be like, "Oh,
The
I'm going
Almighty.
to bring my sexy friend," and then
To make it
when he is seduced by her, this people, fake people, fictional people in their dumb lives.
What shall I do now? I thought for a while and finally said to myself, I am afraid that the murdered girl's family will look for her.
Oh, you think?
No one is safe from the treachery of women. Then I took off my clothes and dug a hole in the middle of the hall, and placing the girl with all her jewelry in it, covered it back with earth and replaced the slabs of the marble pavement. Okay. Maybe they're small slabs.
Stone cold.
Then I put on clean clothes and, taking what was left of my money in a small box, locked up the house and left. I took courage, went to the landlord, paid him a year's rent, saying, I am going to join my uncles in Cairo. Then I paid for my voyage with the king's caravansary and departed.
And his dad thought he'd be safe in Damascus.
What morning overtook Shahrazad? She laughed from the silence.
What are you doing? Moes? Ah, you and your moes.
Bother.
Ah. I should keep a list of things that I say I'm going to put in the description because I always forget.
Do you want me to take notes?
Maybe. I haven't put a link to Arabian Nights. It's a good game. People should buy it.
Okay,
Even if it was made in like the 80s and there's some weird stuff written into it. But
well, it was made in the 80s, and it's also it's based on the Richard Burton version,
which is
even more awful than this.
Right.
Because like
It's
Richard, that's the one where it's
version.
like, I get that it's raunchy and violent. You know what it needs more of?
More raunchy violence.
Yeah. Did you already link to the brushes?
Yeah, I did because I knew I was going to talk about them because I haven't I've been using them on the very limited amount of stuff that I've been posting, but I haven't like used them on a stream. I feel a little bit bad for not using my other ones anymore, like just the regular. Well, I did the Tristan picture all flats because I think that had a better style for
Which
the
one?
coloring. Which one? The Candy Witch? Not for Christmas. The other one for Halloween. Yeah.
What was the other thing that you wanted to link?
What was the other thing I wanted to link? Game.
Yeah.
Other thing we've been talking about. I feel like we was talking about something else. Link to the Quaker Oats company because everybody should buy these rice cakes.
So they're going to pay us?
Oh, probably not. Then we won't link to them. They don't need help. They're big. I don't know. I forgot what I was even saying.
We're talking about Moe.
Oh, yeah, link to like the App Store because I don't think Moe has its own website.
You could link to a streaming side of the episode.
I could. I don't think anybody should watch that though. It's really bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
It's really dumb. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's just really dumb. Like it doesn't tell you. Like it. It bugs me because I realize it's a OVA or whatever the heck they are. That it's just like a one-shot thing. But like I feel like they're setting up plot and then it's just one episode. But like it's like you don't really get a feel of what the characters are really. You're like what's going on? There's girls with cell phones changing everybody's outfit. I don't know.
I have suspended disbelief for more ridiculous anime premises.
Yeah, but if it was just its own thing that I'd seen without having played the app, I probably wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Be like, this is weird. Doesn't really make much sense, but whatever. But just because I played the app, I'm weird and bitter about it. I don't know.
We're heading to the future.
Who's right into the future?
I'm in the future.
No, stop.
Flying cards, flying billboards, even flying eateries.
What?
How exactly are we to find a single butterfly amongst all of this?
Oh dear. What happened? Oh, you're yeah, look at my group.
Tabitha says, does this world full of science mean we finally found peace?
Oh, Tabitha. No. That's not what it means. This brush, I really like.
Meanwhile, Narcissus into the magical food.
This brush is a alcohol brush, and it basically makes what I think look a lot like little magical bubbles. So I use it a lot for shiny kawaii desu nonsense. See, look at that. All kinds of things. Probably put some actual.
No, there's a salt brush too.
Yeah, the salt brush.
These big old grains and stuff.
Yeah, it's different. It's not as clean, I don't think. It's not as circular.
Tabitha says, it's so much easier moving around without gravity. My weight? You know it's rude to ask a lady.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright, and there we go. Got a super cute background that's really simple. I just like sparkles so much. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's real nice.
Perfect for Valentine's Day. Alright.
What's next?
Let me open up my thing and see because this one is done, but I don't have the playlist made,
right.
So I can't. Let's see what's in my folder real quick. I could do. I got this art redo of Mara I was working on, but I don't really like the sword anymore. I don't want to look up swords to draw. I could do one of the Mila ones, or I've got some.
Did you want to call it sketches? You had?
The meal ones?
Yeah.
Those are the two I was just talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
They're already on here. I don't need to like scan them or anything. Or I could do the other two things I got in here are fan art stuff. I really want to color this dumb Zelda that I've had for forever, but I would need to look up color references. So probably not that one tonight. Well, I don't know. Okay, let's try the Mila one. Which one do you want me to do? The shoulder one or the cheek pinches?
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe the shoulder one.
Shoulder one.
I do like the cheek pinches better.
I like the cheek pinches.
Okay.
Open with Photoshop. Here we go. All right. I don't know if I want to just color under it. His arm's goofy. I should redo it at some point. I don't want to redo it right now.
Like the lines?
There's a weird perspective thing.
Hmm.
The Beast. Oh, maybe?
The Beast?
That's what one of the brushes is called. Beast. It's a big brush, sort of. None of these brushes are really like huge. Like that's the frustrating thing is that I can't make any of them really big without like janking up my computer really hard.
Yeah, because they've got a lot of things going on in them.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff.
The following night, Shahrazad said, I heard, O King of the Age, that the Jewish physician told the King of China that the young man said, I set out on my journey, and God granted me safe passage, and I reached Cairo. When I met my uncles, I found that they had already sold their goods on credit. They were glad to see me, but surprised at my arrival. I said to them, You were gone for too long, and I yearned to see you.
Liar.
But I did not tell them that I had any money with me. I stayed with them, enjoying Cairo and its sights, and began to spend the rest of my money, squandering it on feasting and drinking. When the time drew near for my uncle's departure, I hid myself from them, and when they looked for me but could not find me, they said, He must have gone back to Damascus, and departed. And I came out of hiding and lived in Cairo for 3 years, sending every year to the landlord in Damascus the rent for the house, until at last I had squandered all my money and had nothing left but the fare for the journey back. I paid the fare and set out, and God granted me safe passage, and I reached Damascus. I dismounted at the house where the landlord, who was a jeweler, received me gladly. I unsealed the lock, opened the door, and went in. When I swept the house and wiped it clean, I found under the bed, where I had slept with the murdered girl, a gold necklace set with 10 gemstones that boggled the mind. When I saw it, I recognized it, picked it up, and, holding it in my hand, wept for a long time. Then, having cleaned the house, I placed the furniture as it was before. I stayed at home for a couple of days, then went to the bath, rested, and put on fresh clothes. By then I had absolutely no money left. Driven by fate and tempted by the devil, I took the necklace, wrapped it in a handkerchief, and carried it to the market, handed it to a broker. When he saw it, he kissed my hand and said, By God, this is fine! By God, this is a fine and fortunate way to start business. Oh, what a blessed boy! Then he took me to my shop, and to the shop of my landlord, who made me sit by his side. We waited until the market was full, and the broker took the necklace, offered it secretly, and without my knowledge got 2,000 dinars for it. He returned to me saying, Sir, we thought that the necklace was gold, but it turned out to be fake. I was offered 1,000 dirhams for it. Will you accept the offer?
No.
I replied, Yes, I accept, for I know that it was brass. When the broker heard my reply, he realized that there was a problem with the necklace and struck a bargain with the chief merchant, who went to the chief of police and told him the necklace had been stolen from him and that the thief had been apprehended, dressed as a merchant. Suddenly, calamity fell upon me, for as I sat in the shop, the officers seized me unawares and took me to the chief of police.
When he asked me about the necklace, I told him what I had told the broker, and he laughed, thinking that I had stolen it. Before I knew it, I was stripped and beaten with rods until, smarting from the blows, I lied, saying, "Yes, I stole it."
Oh, no.
After they wrote down my confession, they cut off my hand. And when they seared it with boiling oil, I fainted and remained unconscious for half of that day. Then they gave me wine to drink, and my landlord carried me away and said to me, "My son, being a nice young man of substance and means, why did you have to steal? When you steal from people, none will have mercy on you. Son, you stand convicted. Leave my house and find yourself another lodging. Go in peace."
Go in peace.
I felt disappointed and said to him, "Sir, I wonder whether you can give me 3 days to find another place." He replied, "Very well," and left me, sad and worried, wondering, if I go back home with my hand cut off, how shall I face my people and convince them that I am innocent? And I wept bitterly. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence.
Probably should redo these lines. They're not great. Oh, okay, fine.
What?
These lines aren't great. I should probably redraw them.
You could do that.
I could do that. Or I could just keep coloring and rescan it and try to place it on top of the color. I don't know.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm coloring.
Oh, wait. Like, realign it?
No, just scan the drawing again. Like,
Yeah.
because this is just taken with my phone. That's why it looks shitty.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably line up. Alright. But, I mean, if you need to clean up the lines anyway. But that also sounds like work.
does sound like work. I don't know if maybe there's a way I can... Because I really like a lot of the texture on here, but I don't think I can keep it and delete the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just scan it. I mean, you can check around with levels and stuff. See what happens.
What do you mean junk around with levels?
They use levels and sharpens
Oh, okay.
contrasts. And,
Oh, I've already done that. That's why it looks the way it does currently.
Alright. What did Shahrazad say the next night?
I don't know. What does she say?
On that 137th night, Shahrazad said, "I heard, O happy king, that the Jewish physician told the king of China that the young man said, 'I was ill for 2 days, and on the 3rd day I suddenly found my landlord and the chief merchant, who had bought the necklace from me and accused me of stealing it from him, standing at my door, with 5 police officers standing on guard. I asked them, what is the matter? But they bound me at once and put around my neck a collar attached to a chain, saying, the necklace that was with you belongs to the governor of Damascus, who told us that for 3 years it had been missing, together with his daughter.' When I heard what they said, my heart sank within me, and I went with them with a cut-off hand. So I covered my face, saying to myself, I will tell the governor my true story, and if he wishes, let him kill me, and if he wishes, let him pardon me. They brought me to the governor and made me stand before him, and when he looked at me, he said, 'Unbind him. Is he the one who took my necklace to the market to sell?' They replied, 'Yes, he is.' Then he said, 'He did not steal it. Why did you cut off his hand unjustly? Poor fellow!' When I heard this, I took heart and said to him, 'My lord, my God, I did not steal the necklace, but they slandered me, and this merchant, claiming that the necklace belonged to him and accusing me of stealing it, took me to the chief of police. And when the chief had beaten me with rods, I smarted from the blows and lied against myself.' The governor said, 'Don't be afraid.' Then he sentenced the chief merchant, who had taken the necklace from me, saying to him, "Pay him indemnity for his hand, or I will beat you until I flay your hide."
Oh, dang.
And he cried out to the officers, who dragged the merchant away, while I remained with the governor. He said to me, "My son, speak the truth and tell me the story of the necklace and how you came by it. Don't lie and be truthful, for the truth will make you free." I replied, "By God, this has been my intention." Then I related to him in detail what had happened to me and the young lady, and how she had brought with her the girl who owned the necklace and had murdered her at night out of jealousy. When he heard my story, he shook his head, wrung his hands, and with tears in his eyes said, "To God we belong, and to him we return." Then turning to me, he said, "My son, let me explain everything to you. It so happened that Shahrazad was overtaken by the morning
No.
and lapsed into silence. Following night, Shahrazad said, "I heard, O happy king, that the Jewish physician told the king of China that the young man said, the governor said, 'The first young lady who came to you is my eldest daughter. I brought her up in strict seclusion, then married her to her cousin in Cairo. Then he died, and she came back to me, having learned bad habits there.
Okay.
She visited you 3 or 4 times, and at last brought you her sister, my middle daughter. They were sisters from the same mother, and they loved each other, and could not bear to be without each other for even a single hour. When the oldest sister was having her affair with you, she revealed the secret to her sister, who desired to visit you with her. So she asked for your permission and brought her to you. But she got jealous of her and murdered her and returned home, without letting me know anything. When we sat down to eat that day, I looked for my daughter, but could not find her. I inquired after her from her eldest sister, and found her crying and grieving for her. She said to me, 'Father, at the time of the call to prayer,'" she said, and this is the father doing the voice of it.
Oh, okay.
This is Shahrazad doing the voice of the Jewish mathematician, doing the voice of the
I just
young
read.
man, doing the voice
Just
of
read.
the governor, doing the voice of
Shush.
his daughter. "Father, at the time of the call to prayer, she suddenly put on her clothes and jewelry, including her necklace, wrapped herself in her cloak, and went out. I kept waiting for her day and night, without telling anyone for fear of scandal, while her elder sister, who had murdered her, kept weeping for her, refusing to eat or drink, saying, 'I will never stop weeping for her until I die,' until she worried us and made our lives miserable. Finally, when she could not bear it any longer, she killed herself, and I continued to grieve more and more for her. This is what happened. If you look at what happens to the likes of you and me, you will agree that this life is all vanity, and that man is but a transient image, which vanishes as soon as it appears."
Dang. That's heavy.
Man watched his daughter die and became a nihilist.
I mean, I can't really blame him.
What happened to the youngest daughter, though?
She's probably gonna marry him, the dude. I don't know.
"Now, my son, I would like you not to disobey me. Today, what has been foreordained for you came to pass, and your hand was cut off unjustly. But now I would like you to accept my offer and marry my youngest daughter.
I told you.
For she is born of a different mother.
She's not crazy.
Yeah, did not inherit the other girl's crazy. I will provide you with the dowry and give you clothes and money, settle an allowance on you, and treat you like my son. What do you say?"
What do you say?
I replied, "My lord, how could I hope for such a good fortune? Yes, I accept.
And then she was
4
ugly.
4 destiny points.
4 destiny points.
You are now married."
You're now married. You must put your home in Damascus.
Yep.
And every time you go to a city, you got to come back here. Oh man.
Then he took me at once to his house, sent for the witnesses,
So
and
does
married
he
me
have
to his daughter.
enduring hardship? Is that why? No.
Everybody is enduring hardship. Here's
At least if you-
here's a tip: if you play Arabian Nights, get it during hardship.
Yeah. Or just play with piety and pray to everything.
Yeah, that too.
That's boring, though.
That is boring. That's how I played it the first time. It was kind of fun.
Yeah,
Things fun.
things do still happen.
Boop, boop, married me to his daughter, and I went into her. Moreover, he got me a large indemnity from the chief merchant and continued to hold me in the highest esteem.
And then I fucked it up.
When at the beginning of this year news reached me that my father had died, I told the governor, and he obtained from the king in Egypt an edict and sent it with a courier who went to Mosul and brought me back all the money my father had left me. And now I'm living in all prosperity.
Oh, yay.
This, then, is the cause of my hiding my right hand. Begging your pardon, doctor. His story amazed
Oh,
me.
man, okay.
And I stayed with him until he went to the bath the second time and returned to his wife. He gave me considerable sum of money, and providing me for my journey, bade me goodbye and sent me on my way. I left him and journeyed eastward until I reached Baghdad. Then I traveled in Persia and finally came to your city, where I lived contentedly until my last night's adventure with the roguish hunchback. Isn't the story more amazing than that of the hunchback? Morning overtook Shahrazad, and she laughs in silence. The following night, Shahrazad said, I heard that when the king of China heard the Jewish physician's story, he shook his head and said, No,
No.
my God, it
I
is
like
not
the
stranger
hunchback.
or more amazing than the story of the hunchback. I must kill all four of you. For all of you plotted to kill the roguish hunchback, and you have told stories that were not more amazing than his. But there is still you, Taylor, who are the chief offender, not me. The occupation. Tell me a story that is more wonderful, more amazing, more diverting, and more entertaining than that of the hunchback, or I will kill you all.
I will kill you.
The tailor replied, Very well.
Okay.
The tailor's tale. The lame young man from Baghdad and the barber. Not like the hunchbacks.
I don't even remember what the Hunchbacks was.
It probably has something to do with magic.
Probably.
Hunchback got the magic skill. O king of the age, the most amazing thing that ever happened to me occurred yesterday, before I met the roguish hunchback. I was invited to an early morning banquet together with about 20 companions from the city. As soon as the sun rose and they set food before us, the host entered with a handsome stranger. Perfectly beautiful young man, except that he was lame.
Oh no.
We stood in salute in deference to the host, and the young man was about to sit down when, seeing among us a man who was a barber by profession, he refused to sit and started to leave.
Whoa.
But the host stopped him and adjured him, asking, Why do you enter my house and leave at once? The young man replied, For God's sake, my lord, don't hinder me. The cause is that ill-omened, ill-behaved, bungling, shameful, and pernicious old barber.
Wow.
When we and the host heard this description of the barber, we took a look at him, and a feel, and aversion.
Oh my
For-
gosh. Wah.
But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she left in silence. I heard, O happy king, that the tailor said to the king of China. When we heard this description of the barber, we said, None of us will be able to eat and enjoy himself unless the young man tells us about the barber. The young man said, Oh, fellows,
Oh, fellows.
I had an adventure with this barber in my native city of Baghdad, and he was in fact the cause of my breaking my leg and becoming lame. I have sworn never to sit in the same place or live in the same city with him, and because of him I left Baghdad and settled in the city. Now suddenly I find him here with you. Not another night shall pass before I depart from here. We begged him to sit down and tell us what happened between him and the barber in Baghdad, while the barber turned pale and bowed his head. The young man said, My father was one of the richest men in Baghdad. God had blessed him with no other child but myself. When I grew up and reached manhood, he died.
As
and
fathers do.
Almighty God took him under his mercy. He left me with great wealth, and I began to dress handsomely and to live the best of lives. It happened that God had made me Ooh, that's not the word, but it has red.
What?
Sorry, I just totally screwed that up. It happened that God made me a hater of women.
Oh
And
no.
one day, as I was walking along the streets of Baghdad, a group of women blocked my way, and I fled from them into a blind alley.
Wait, so is he afraid of women, or does he what?
I suppose if you're gonna... It turns out God made me hate women, is what I mean. Maybe he's just really scared of them.
God, a hater of
I had not sat long when a window opened, and there appeared, tending the flowers in the window, a young lady as
women. I hate her.
radiant as the moon, and so beautiful that I've never seen one more beautiful.
Okay.
When she saw me, she smiled, setting my heart on fire, and my hatred of women was changed to love.
Oh,
I continued sitting
that was quick.
lost to the world till close to sundown, when the judge of the city, riding a she-mule, came by, dismounted, and entered the young lady's house, leading me to guess that he was her father. I went home in sorrow and fell on my bed, consumed with passion. My relatives came in and wondered what was the matter with me, but I did not reply. I remained like this for several days until they began to lament over me. One day, an old woman came in to see me and, looking at me, guessed at once what was the matter with
Oh,
me.
he loves sick.
She sat down on my head, spoke gently to me, and said, "Son, be cheerful. Tell me what ails you, and I will help you get what you desire." Her words soothed my heart, and we sat talking. I really hoped... Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay. I was just going to say I really hope that the old lady doesn't have that many more lines.
No, because you already gave her a scrambly voice.
Yeah, and the next 2 pages are...
Oh, did she say a poem?
2 pages of poem.
Oh.
141st night. I heard, O king, that the tailor told the king of China that the young man said to the guests, "The old woman gazed on me and recited the following verses."
Come on, you can do it.
"No, by her radiant brow and rosy cheeks, my eyes I turned not when she left the place. But like an eyeless man, I rolled along in my confusion, stumbling in her trace. She was a nimble deer, well used to run, a cruel mistress with a heart of stone. She set my heart and soul on hellish fire, and I became a misfit, alien and alone. Cheeks in the dust and eyes flowing with tears, mourning the old days and love I did crave. Helpless I grieve, but what avails the sighs? I am dead without her, though not my grave. Haunted by everlasting memories of her face that showed neither joy nor rage. Heart, break with grief and let my soul expire, O heart of silver in a marble cage. Consumed with love and patient with my fate, I watch my rivals pressing in their turn, unable to reproach them for their love. Oh, will the good old days ever return? How can my soul forbear, or how forget her slender body and her lovely face, which like the shining sun dazzled the world as I held her in an ardent embrace, and in the dark tasted the night's delight, lying on green grass that felt like the down that graces tender, plump, and rosy cheeks, fondling her cheeks like silk of high renown, clutching them as the miser clutches gold, feeling their softness like
clutching her cheeks.
Stuff.
Clutching her cheeks. Look at the screen.
With flowers.
Clutching her cheeks.
Tender flowers.
Tender flowers.
Ooh.
Stop. Gross. Gross voice.
Clutch your cheeks. Don't let her moon cheeks get away.
Oh no. What color fox eyes he got? He got what color fox? I think I colored his eyes before. You keep reading. Let me check my. Probably green. That would make sense. Let me check. You keep reading. Keep scrambling your voice.
clutching them as a miser clutches gold, feeling their softness like silk stuffed with flowers, or with a tender heart throbbing unseen. Heart throbbing unseen is the word that I said. Oh, let the watchman come. She had redeemed my hours. My love is constant. I have never changed, unlike the others, never turned away, but always loved and will forever love. And keeping the pledge with honor is my way. I swore that if I died from grief, I would not plead. A stoic lover does not need to sigh. And I am a heedless lover, quick to blame or to betray, for none knows love as I. We lived in bliss and boundless happiness until I thought of Eden safe from our blight. Thought we would stay secure and never part. Now all has died and vanished from my sight. Alas for the days of that black-eyed dear. If they return and bring her back to me, I pledge eternal fasting for all my days. For without her, I will an outcast be, living love's victim to eternity. But morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lies in silence.
Okay.
Old lady's got some real sad poems.
Yeah, that's a pretty sad poem.
I heard, O happy king, that the tailor told the king of China, that the young man said to the guests. Then the old woman said to me, Son, tell me your story. When I told her, she said, Son, that young lady is the daughter of the judge of Baghdad, and she is kept in strict seclusion. The place where you saw her is her private room, which she occupies by herself alone, while her parents live in the great hall below. I often visit her, and I will undertake to help you, for you will not get to her but through me. Gird your loins!
Okay.
That's what she said. She says, gird your loins.
Gird them.
Gird them. Gird them well. When I heard her words, I was encouraged and began to eat and drink to the satisfaction of my family. The old woman left and came back the following morning, crestfallen, and said,
Oh, no.
Son, don't ask how I fared with the young lady when I mentioned you to her. The last thing she said about you was, Wretched woman, if you don't stop this talk, I will punish you as you deserve. For if you mention him again, I will tell my father. But by God, son, I must try her again, even if I suffer for it. When I heard what she said, I felt even worse than before and kept repeating, Alas, how cruel is love. The old woman visited me every day while my illness dragged on until all the physicians and sages and my entire family began to despair of my recovery. One day the old woman came in and sitting on my head whispered to me.
Sitting on his head?
Sitting on top of my head.
Like Pan?
Sitting at my head.
Okay.
Whispered to me out of the hearing of my family, You must give me a reward for the good news. When I heard her words, I sat up and said, The reward is yours. She said, My lord, I went yesterday to the young lady who welcomed me and, seeing that I was broken-hearted and tearful, asked, Oh, aunt, what is the matter with you, and why are you unhappy? I replied tearfully, My lady, I have just come from a sick young man who has been lying, now conscious, now unconscious. His family has given up on him, and he will surely perish because of you. She asked as she began to feel pity, What is he to you? I replied, He is my son. He saw you some time ago at your window watering your flowers, and when he looked at your face and your lovely hand, his heart was captivated, and he fell madly in love with you. These were the verses he recited. By the rare treasure of your lovely face.
You okay?
By the rare treasure of your lovely face. I feel like this voice has changed quite significantly over the course of it.
It's fine. Shh.
Don't kill your lover with cruel disdain. His heart is intoxicated with love, his wasting body racked and torn with pain. By your supple, curving and graceful frame, your mouth it puts the perfect pearls to shame. The piercing arrow from your arching brows that found my heart without missing the aim. Your slender, melting waist,
Mm.
which is as frail as a sad lover who pines for you,
Uh,
by the enchanting star of ambergris.
uh,
Well, wax,
whale wax.
gracing your cheek, your victim mercy show, and by your curling sidelocks have pity. Be tender and give him your love divine. For by the pearls between your coral lips, by your sweet mouth and its delicious wine,
This is really
your belly folded in poetic lines that lacerate my heart, oh painful dream,
good.
and by your legs, which brought me death and doom, only your love can your lover redeem.
Okay.
But my lady, when he sent me to you last time, I fared badly at your hands. Morning overtook Shahrazad. Oh God, why is this the old lady story? I wouldn't have given her. Okay. I heard, O happy kings, the tailor told the king of China. The young man said to the guest. The old woman said, "Oh my lady, I fared badly at your hands, and when I went back to him and acquainted him with your reply, he got worse and remained bedridden until I thought he would surely die, and gave him up for lost." The young lady turned pale and asked, "Is all this because of me?" I replied, "Yes, by God, my lady, what is your command?" She replied, "Let him come here on Friday, before the noon prayer, and when he arrives, I will come down, open the door, and take him upstairs to my room, where he can visit with me for a while and then leave, before my father comes back."
Yeah, we killed.
Oh, fellows, when I heard the old woman's words, my anguish ceased. Then she sat on my head and said, "God willing, be ready on Friday. You're gonna get down on Friday.
Stop.
Friday. Friday.
Gotta get down for it.
Gotta get down on Friday." Then she received the word, "I'm sorry."
Alright.
I owed her and departed, leaving me completely recovered to the delight of my family.
Yay.
I kept waiting, and on Friday the old woman came in and inquired after my health, and I replied that I was hale and hearty. Then I rose, put on my clothes, and scented myself with perfumes and incense.
Gotta get
The
hot.
old woman asked me, "Why don't you go to the bath and wash off the traces of your illness?" I replied, "I have no desire to go to the bath. I have already washed myself with water.
Dude, you're gonna get your whole body cut off.
But I do want a barber
Oh no.
to shave my
He
head."
gave him a bad haircut and his lady was like, "I hate you. No, your hair's not sexy." Oh. And then he was
And then she cut off
Saitama.
his thumbs.
Oh. It's not even anywhere near his hair.
Barber. Then I returned to the servant and said to him, "Give me a sensible and discreet barber, who will not give me a headache with his chatter."
Oh no.
And the servant went out and returned with this wretched old barber.
This wretched old barber.
When he entered, he greeted me, and I returned his greeting. Then he said to me,
I hope you like chatter, because I'm gonna chatter. What did he say? Was it a poem?
no, I was just thinking of the voice. "My lord, I see that you are emaciated."
This doesn't seem right.
I replied, "I have been ill." He said, may God be kind to you and make you well." I said, "May God hear your prayer."
What is this voice?
He says, "My lord, be cheerful, for your recovery is at hand." Adding, "Oh, my lord, do you want me to shave your head or to let blood?"
Hmm?
To this day, in certain parts of the Middle East, barbers function as surgeons and dentists.
Oh, so he's like, oh, what did you want?
He's Dr. Barber.
He's Dr. Barber. What?
So you just talk like Dr. Barber.
You could.
I said, "Shave my head at once and spare me from your raving, for I'm still weak from my illness."
Okay.
140th night, 44th night. Shahrazad said, I heard, O happy king, that the tailor told the king of China. The young man said to the guest, I said to the barber, I am still weak from my illness. Then he put his hand in his leather bag and took out an astrolabe, an instrument used formerly by astrologers for ascertaining the positions of the heavenly bodies. Then he put his hand in his, with 7 plates inlaid with silver, and going to the courtyard, held the instrument up to the sun's rays, and looked for some time. Then he said to me, "Oh, my lord,
Oh.
8 degrees and 6 minutes have elapsed of this day, which is Friday, the 18th of Safar, in the 653rd year of Hijrah, and 7,320th year of the Alexander era. And the planet now in ascendant, according to the mathematical calculations on the astrolabe, is Mars,
Why is
which in conjunction with Mercury, a conjunction that is favorable for cutting hair.
Thus, you will get the most favorable haircut based on your astrological symbol. The bowl cut. Because it's a bad joke, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just... Astrology literally has not changed in 1,000 years.
You're playing your moes.
No,
You're a liar.
I am.
Why you lied to me?
I can also see that you intend to meet another person. For that, the time is inauspicious and ill-advised.
No haircuts today.
I said to him, "By God, fellow, you are pestering me and wearying me with your wretched auguries. I have not brought you here to read the stars, but to shave my head. Proceed at once to perform what I have brought you for, or get out and let me call for another barber to shave my head." He said, "By God, my lord, even if you have cooked it in milk, it wouldn't have turned out better. You have asked for a barber, and God has sent you a barber who is also an astrologer and a physician, versed in the arts of alchemy, astrology, grammar, lexicography, logic, scholastic disputation, rhetoric, arithmetic, algebra, and history, as well as the traditions of the Prophet, according to Muslim and al-Bukhari, two of the compilers of the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. I have read many books and digested them.
Gross.
I have had experience of affairs and understood them. And I have studied all sciences and crafts and mastered them. In short, I have tried and mastered everything. It behooves you to give thanks to the Almighty God for what He has sent you, and to praise Him for what He has bestowed on you. Follow my advice today and obey the stars. I offer it to you free of charge, for it is nothing, considering my affection and esteem for you. Your father loved me because of my discretion. Therefore, my service is obligatory to you." When I heard his speech, I said to him, "You will surely be the death of me today."
Probably because you're letting him cut your hair.
But the morning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence. Then Dinazad said to her sister, "What a strange and entertaining story." Shahrazad replied, "What is this compared with what I shall tell you tomorrow night? If the king spares me, he lets me live." 145th night. Following night, Shahrazad said, "I heard, O happy king, as the tailor told the king of China, that the young man said to the guests." The barber added, "Am I not the one whom, because of my taciturnity, people call the silent one? My eldest brother is called Al-Bakbuk, the prater. The second, Al-Hadar, the babbler. The third, Al-Bukaki, the Bukabik, the gabbler. The fourth, Al-Kuz Al-Aswani, the stone mug.
The stone.
The fifth, Al-Nashar, the braggart. The sixth, Shaykh,
Shaquille O'Neal.
the noisy. Well, I, because of my taciturnity, I'll submit, the silent one." The barber kept talking until I got exasperated and angrily said to my servant, "For the sake of the Almighty God, give him 4 dinars and let him go. I do not wish to have my head shaved today." When the barber heard my words, he said to me, "Oh, my lord, what kind of talk is this? I swear that I am under an obligation not to accept any money from you until I have served you, and indeed I must serve you, for it is my duty to help you and fulfill your need. And I don't care whether I get paid or not. If you, my lord, don't know my worth, I know yours, and know what you deserve because of the esteem I hold for your father." Then he recited the following verses. "I came one day to my lord to let blood, but found out that the season was not good. and sat and talked of many prodigies, and my store of knowledge before him strewed. Pleased with my talk, he turned and said to me, "You are beyond compare, O mine of lore." I said, "O Lord of men, you are the source, bestowing wisdom from your boundless store. O Lord of grace and all munificence, O treasure house of knowledge, wit, and sense." He added, "When I recited these same verses to your father, he was pleased and cried out to the servants, saying, 'Give him 103 dinars and a robe of honor.'" Oh, he got the robe of honor.
Oh, we got the robe of honor. That's good. I don't remember what it did for you, but
It's
it was good.
No, it wasn't an item. It was
It was status.
yeah, it was a status. I don't know. I didn't really get to experience. That was the point where you guys just
We were just like, you win. Stop. Let's stop.
yeah.
No more.
And the servant did as he bade. Then I read the signs, and finding the moment auspicious, let blood.
Okay.
When that was done, I could not help asking him, "My God, my Lord, what made you bid the servant give me 103 dinars?" He replied, "1 dinar was for your astrological observation, another for your entertaining conversation, the third for the bloodletting, and the remaining 100 and the robe of honor for your praise of me."
Because I sure do love it when you talk about me.
The barber went on and on until I got so angry that I burst out crying, "May God show no mercy to my father for knowing the likes of you." That's how you get cursed.
That's how you get cursed. Who's getting cursed, though? Him or his father?
The following night, Shahrazad said, I heard, O happy king, that the tailor told the king of China that the young man told the guests, I said to the barber, "For God's sake, spare me your chatter, for I am going to be late." But he laughed and said, "There is no God but God. Glory be to him who changes not. My lord, I must conclude that your illness has changed you from what you used to be, for I see that you have become foolish, while people usually become wiser as they grow older. I have heard the poet say, comfort the poor with money if you can, and God's recompense will be yours by right. Want is a dire affliction, hard to cure, but money can improve a sorry sight. And if you meet your fellows, wish them peace and show your parents their due reverence. How oft have they, sleepless, waited for you, praying to God to keep his vigilance. In any case, you are excused, but I worry about you. You should know that your father and grandfather did nothing without consulting me. For to say he who takes counsel should not be disappointed. And he who has no mentor will never be a mentor. And the poet says, before you proceed to do anything, consult a mature man ere venturing. Indeed, you will find none more experienced than I, and I am here, standing on my feet, ready to serve you. I am not annoyed with you. Why should you be annoyed with me?
That's some logic right there.
I said to him, by God, fellow, you have talked too much. All I want from you is to shave my head and be done with it. He said, I know that my lord is displeased with me, but I do not hold it against you. I said to him, my appointment is drawing near. For the sake of the Almighty God, fellow, shave my head and go. And I tore my clothes. When he saw me do this, he took the razor and, sharpening it, came up to me, shaved a few heads, then held his hand back and said, my lord, haste is of the devil. For the poet says, be careful and restrain your hasty wish. Be merciful to all, and they will mercy show. By the hand of God is above every hand, and every tyrant shall another know. My lord, I don't think that you know my worth, for you are unaware of my knowledge, wisdom, and high merit. I replied, stop meddling, for you have pestered me enough. He said, my lord,
I have not.
It seems to me that you are in a hurry. I replied, yes, yes, yes. He said, don't be in a hurry, for haste is of the devil
and
leads to regret. I'm worried about you. and I would like you to let me know what it is you intend to do, for I fear that it might prove harmful to you. There are still 3 hours left to the end of prayer. Adding, however, I don't wish to be in doubt about this, but I must know for certain the exact time, for speech, when it is conjectural, is flawed, especially one like me, whose merit is plain and known among men, and it does not befit me to base my statements on conjecture, as do the common sort of astrologers.
Yeah.
Then
Just
he
the common?
threw down the razor, went out, in mourning overtook Shahrazad, and she lapsed into silence.
Man,
Shahrazad said, "What an obnoxious dude." Shahrazad replied, "Well, I know, right?"
To which the king replied, "No more stories, I'm hanging you." Man, like
You should probably have a real dinner.
you probably should have a real dinner. There's so many leftovers. We'll have a real dinner, don't worry.
That's I should probably stop eating rice cakes.
Yeah, you stop eating rice cakes. I really want to, like, finish this arc. But I also, my hand's starting to get the cramps. And that guy is so obnoxious.
Right?
So obnoxious.
Again.
I might have to stop. Because my hand's getting the mad cramps. Especially with doing this line art and this little fine detail work. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
Well, I skipped ahead a little bit to see if when the story would end.
Yeah. 1 million pages.
The barber gets his own tail.
No, I bet he does. Because he can't shut up.
And I think there are tails inside of the barber's tail.
Oh no. I'm not really surprised, but okay.
What?
Never be free of this barber. What page are we on? How far till the end?
We're on page 312 of 518.
Oh, okay. He's not the barber's not the last story, is he? I'll be kind of disappointed if he's the last story.
I don't know. Like the last story in the book?
Like the last series of stories in the book, yeah.
Oh, maybe not. Probably not. There's still like 200 pages left.
Okay.
I'll just read. This is like about 10 pages ahead. It is related to Happy King that the tailor told the king of China that the barber told the guest that he said to the caliph. The tale of the first brother.
Too many.
Tailor.
Too many people talking.
Yep.
Alright. I don't know if it looks a lot better now that I've lined it. But I might still get rid of the... Well, that's too big. Still get rid of the underlines. I'm not sure. Get rid of these ones that I've colored over. We're very silent now. No, yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh.
Oh, probably. Sorry, I got like real distracted with all these background brushes I'm doing. It's just for the moment. I probably will change this.
I'm just watching you paint on the screen.
Just got enraptured by the painting.
It's entrancing.
It's entrancing. Whoa, don't eat that.
What? What does that mean?
Alright, yeah, I think you've had a snack. I've just colored her.
I had a snack
Plain
recently,
background.
a package of rice cakes and scone.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I think I'm gonna call it here. Sound good? I think that sounds good.
Sounds good.
Been here 2 hours. That's a good long amount for reads.
Good luck.
Good long amount for reads.
Good solid reading.
And colored.
Very on task.
Okay, Mr. Moe. Yeah, but I colored 2 things. Probably.
Are you done with this one?
I'm mostly done. There's some more things I could do to it. Could change some of the colors. I don't know what I think about his skin tone. It looks a little bit dead. But.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit, it's not saturated enough.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's on the grayer end.
Were you trying to give him fox skin?
I was just trying to give him a different color from her. I was trying to do, I don't really know what I want his skin to look like. I was thinking about doing brown, but a browner skin tone, but I don't know if that would make it look weird with the orangey hair. I don't know. I'll play around with it. Probably finish coloring it at some point.
Is all of his skin on one layer?
Yes. I could
You
just
do the hue and saturation slider.
I could. I'm not going to do it right now. Right now I'm sleepy and we should watch more Firefly.
Okay.
But, yeah, probably clean that up more later and then, I don't know, make a Patreon background or something out of it maybe.
This one?
Yeah, maybe. All of them. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, the one I just did looks so good for my phone background.
Yeah.
Everybody should be able to have Sleepy Meal and Fox.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for watching our video. I hope y'all enjoyed the fun story times and the fun draws. See about maybe doing another one of these not 9 months from now. Gotta finish that book. All right. Goodbye, everybody. You want to say goodbye?
Goodbye, everybody.